Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing another episode of Blake's Bets, the show where I come on here and I try to guess which teams are going to win every single NFL game this week. Today is kind of a very depressing day. So, for the first 2 weeks, I did pretty good. First week, I only got 4 wrong. The second week, I only got 3 wrong. Last week, I now have more incorrect from last week than I did the 2 weeks before that combined. So, last week, my guess is I went 8 and 8. I got 8 correct, 8 wrong. And so my overall score right now is 33 correct, 15 wrong. So that's pretty bad. But we're going to lock in here. The NFL is already at a point where it's going to be like unpredictable as hell. I mean, for crying out loud, the Browns beat the Packers. That's absolutely insane to me. Like, that's so wild. And so that really sucks. And then another thing that really sucks with me getting 8 wrong, I happened to get my lock in correct. I really thought that the Atlanta Falcons were going to win this week, and they ended up getting shut out 30-0 by the Carolina Panthers. What the heck? What the hell? Anyways, so because that's my lock and my plan for whenever I do a lock and I get it wrong, I have to do a punishment. I got a punishment planned out, and we're going to go ahead and jump to that, shall we? Alrighty, gang, so I was absolutely abysmal this week, so it's punishment time. I got a beer. I know this is kind of a lame punishment, but we had discussed this and nobody gave me a comment or an alternative of something else to do. So I'm going to try to drink this beer. I don't know if the punishment would be worse to slowly drink the beer or to try to drink it fast, but I'll tell you one thing. I can't chug stuff for shit, and I hate beer. So chugging a beer would be my worst fucking nightmare. But that being said, I got a 16-ounce can. We got Michelob Ultra. Michael Bobby. We got Mitchell Michael Bobby Ultra. We're going to try it. So yeah, I'm going to crack this bad boy open. I'm going to try a sip of it, and then we're going to try to chug it. And I'll tell you this, it's not going to go well. I'm scared. I also went to the liquor store to literally just buy this, and I can't go to the liquor store and not like look around, especially because this is a new liquor store. I've never been to this liquor store ever before. They had fucking Patron, the coffee edition, $10 off. This is like a $40 bottle. I got it for $30. I am so excited. That thing is fucking beautiful. So even though this is going to be torture, I got one good thing out of it. So cheers. Like I said, I'm going to try one sip first, and then we're going to try chugging it. It smells like shit. Okay. Why do you guys like this? Why are you guys... Okay. Okay, should I set a timer? I'm not going to set a timer. You guys can see a timer. I'll put one up on the screen for you guys. Ready? Cheers. Okay. Why does it taste like that? Okay, I just spit because I had a lot of saliva. Truth be told, I think I might actually be sick right now. Anyways, we're going to finish this. Sorry. It literally feels like it's triggering my gag reflex. Like, I feel like I'm going to vomit. Holy shit. There's a little bit in there. I don't like that. I don't understand how people drink fucking cases of beer. Like, the people who, like, will go out, buy rounds of beer, and they'll have, like, 7 or 8 in a day. How the fuck do you do that? That shit tastes like fucking ass. Like, it tastes like TV static a little bit, and then it tastes like the worst part of the most stale sandwich you've ever eaten in your life. Michelob, I'm gonna say this, I hope I never have to drink one of you ever again. That was fucking rough. That being said, this was one of the only ones that they sold individual cans of, so I might need to go to a different store if I fail again. But that being said, that was the punishment. I feel punished. And if I seem a little drunk for the rest of this video, You guys know why. I don't think that that one beer is going to do much for me, but I need to wash it down with something, and I just showed you guys something I'm very excited about. So, yippee! Okay, and I'm sorry if that was a really lame punishment. If you guys have any better ideas for punishments, please let me know down below. I kind of want to maybe look up like fantasy football punishments, but a big thing is a lot of those are like too extreme to do in one individual week because like I do not have a shit ton of time to actually make these videos because like with Thursday night football and Monday night football being so close together, I have like a 2 day window to really do this, and I work at 4 o'clock in the morning, so like I really don't even have most of the day Tuesday. I'll get off of work at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and then that's when I can finally start working on these videos. And then I need to have it done by Thursday night, and it's tough. I'm really struggling here. But that being said, we've got a new list of predictions, and we're gonna go through these, shall we? So starting off with Thursday night football, going on probably right now, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. I really like the Arizona Cardinals. I typically will choose them to be my winner 99% of the time. I think that they're great. I think Kyler Murray's awesome. But that being said, I'm actually going to give this one to the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like they've been doing a really good job this year. And on Thursday night primetime, I feel like they're going to do a solid job. Next one, we got the Vikings and the Steelers starting off our Sunday night slate. This game is being played in Ireland, which makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of figure out which team is going to win. I feel like they're both kind of like considered road teams here, and that's going to make it a little harder for both of them. I think it's going to be a really low scoring game, but I think that the Steelers are going to come out on top on that one. The next one, the Browns and the Lions. Even though the Browns absolutely shocked me last week, I really don't see them doing that good against the Lions. I feel like the Lions have kind of been finding their stride back again, and I think that they're slowly but surely coming back to their form that they were at the end of the year. So I'm going to give this one to the Detroit Lions. I just don't see the Browns beating them. The next one, the Commanders versus the Falcons. I'm really conflicted on this one because I don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to be playing this week. When Jaden Daniels got injured during practice a couple of weeks ago, they kind of made it seem like he was going to be gone for 4 weeks, but supposedly he's playing this weekend. And if he is playing and he's back at 100%, that's awesome. That's great. I think he could do really good. But that being said, I don't know if he is back at 100%. I'm a little stressed out. However, the Falcons just disappointed me. I'm going to give this one to the Washington Commanders. The next one, the Chargers versus the Giants. Jackson Dart is officially going to be starting for the Giants. That's really exciting. I've been watching a lot of Scatabo. Is that how you pronounce it? Scatabo? Scatabo? Their fullback, running back, who's like, I want to say he's like 6 foot, but standing next to his offensive lineman, he literally looks like he's like 5'3". And it's so funny because he's not that small of a guy at all, but the way that guy runs is so entertaining. Anyways, not the point. The Giants have a couple of bright sides. Malik Neighbors doing fantastic. But that being said, the Chargers have been doing absolutely phenomenal this year. I feel like Justin Herbert has had a relatively great start to this season, and I think he's going to continue on with that streak. The next up, we got the Titans versus the Texans. I got to be honest with you, I don't really know anybody who's on the Titans. This is a team that I really need to do more research on and I need to look up. And for the most part, the Texans have not been doing so hot. Like, I feel like the Texans have really not been doing great. I saw a statistic recently that I thought was really interesting, but a couple of years ago, Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud played against each other, and afterward the game, CJ Stroud was like trying to give Caleb Williams a bunch of like advice, being like, "Hey man, keep your head up. You're gonna do amazing. You just got to keep doing these things." And somebody showed their statistics since having that conversation, and CJ Stroud's are like absolutely fucking terrible statistics versus Caleb Williams, who's done phenomenal. So as much as I love CJ Stroud, oh, that's actually who I picked. Yeah, the Texans are gonna win. Why was I talking shit about the Texans? The next one, I would consider this an upset, but it's not going to be like my main upset. I think that the Eagles versus the Buccaneers, the Eagles playstyle is very boring, very basic, very not great. And for the most part, the Buccaneers defense is stellar. Like, I think that the Buccaneers defense will shock some people. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and say I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game. Baker Mayfield's been playing absolutely incredibly. They might have a couple of injured players, but Goodwin is going to be returning. So I'm going to give this one to the Bucks. The Panthers versus the Patriots. The Panthers just absolutely shocked me last week, scoring 30 points against the Falcons. That's absolutely insane. I thought that the Falcons were having a good year. But that being said, I'm a Patriots fan, brother. We're going to go with the Patriots. That's my boys. Those are my team. They're going to do fantastic. Hunter Henry's going to have another incredible week. I'm hoping. I'm playing him in fantasy. Like, I'm starting him this week. I think he's going to do good. Should be a fun matchup. We'll see. The next one, we got the Saints and the Bills, and this is the winner is going to win by 10-plus points game. I think that the Bills are going to absolutely crush the Saints. I don't think that the Saints stand much of a chance, and I think that Josh Allen is going to get 2 rushing touchdowns. Calling it now. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the 49ers. The 49ers have been doing relatively solid this year, even though they have a very injury-prone lineup and they're having a lot of issues with injuries and people going in and out and in and out. But that being said, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I feel like have been on fire this year. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is really finding a stride in this new, like, coaching design for him is really working out for him. I feel like he's matching this scheme a lot better than he's matched his other schemes that they've had him do in the past. And I think that overall, he's just doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So I personally think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this one. Next one, we got the Colts versus the Rams. I think that the Colts have been absolutely phenomenal this year. I think it's insane. Their first time punting this season was week 3. I want to say it was quarter 4 or something. Not quarter 4. Was it quarter 2? Either way, they went 9 quarters of football without punting a single time because Daniel Jones has just been absolutely phenomenal. But that being said, I don't think they're going to beat the LA Rams. I think the LA Rams have been absolutely phenomenal this year, and I just don't see them beating them. Next up, we got the Bears versus the Raiders. I think that this one's also going to be a relatively simple one. The Raiders have been doing absolutely terrible. I think that... Fuck, why am I blanking on his name right now? Geno Smith hasn't been doing so hot this year, and I think that that's not going to magically get fixed right now. I think that Caleb Williams has been playing relatively phenomenal, like I had mentioned earlier. So I'm going to give this one to the Bears. Next game, we got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. This one should be a really interesting game. And one thing that I think is so interesting about this is either the Ravens or the Chiefs is going to be starting the season 1-3 after this game. And that's absolutely insane to me. I think that both of these teams are relatively phenomenal. The Ravens have been putting up an insane amount of points every single week. But the problem is they put up, I want to say, almost 100 points in the last 3 weeks, and they've lost multiple of those games. And that's pretty rough. That's pretty embarrassing. Your defense needs to be able to keep the other team's offense from scoring that much points, and they just haven't been able to do it. So I'm going to give this one to the Kansas City Chiefs, as much as it kills me to do that. Then the next one, we got the Packers versus the Cowboys. I think that the Packers just had a really rough week, and it's going to be a wake-up call to them. Something that I think is really interesting when it comes to like sports mentality is a lot of times people think that like it's better to be undefeated, but I would actually argue the opposite. I think that it's better to lose a couple of games during the season because then you kind of get that wake-up call that, okay, I really need to work on this thing. Okay, I really need to focus on that thing. Whereas if you're undefeated the entire season, your first time like being down and having a couple of losses is going to feel insanely rough. So I feel like losing to the Browns was the wake-up call they needed. And we got Micah Parsons playing against his former team. He's going to have a revenge game. It's going to be awesome. We're going to give this one to the Green Bay Packers. Okay, and this next one, this is the one that I was going to consider my upset for the week. I don't know if it actually is considered an upset or not, but we got the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins, and both of these teams have been playing relatively interestingly. Like, I feel like the Jets started off really strong this year, and for the most part, the Dolphins have been playing relatively terribly this year, but I think that the Dolphins are going to win this game. I just think that they're going to get the upper hand, and they're going to have a nice, strong offensive start to this game, and it's going to be really nice. Okay, and then the last game of the week, this is going to be my lock. We have the Bengals versus the Broncos, and I think that the Bengals, once again, injury-ridden. I feel like none of the wide receivers on this team have been living up to expectations as much as they could have, but the Broncos have been absolutely fantastic this year. I think that they're doing a really good job. I think that their secondary is phenomenal, and I really don't see the Bengals somehow magically beating them. So, that being said, I think the Broncos are going to win. That's my lock. I'm really hoping that that works out because I don't want to have to chug another beer. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys so much for watching. And if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow.